Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are just setting up for today. We're live streaming onto the YouTube channel, but we're also in here in the Zoom room. And if you have just joined us, make sure you send a message to anyone you're getting online. We've got about 60 seconds before we start. So once this finishes, we'll have a quick translation message and then we'll get starting going. Welcome online, ladies and gentlemen. We have people logging in from New Zealand, Oregon, Hawaii, Canada, all over the place right now. For those of you that are online and maybe don't speak English, we're just going to play a quick captions example for those people in other languages. Just bear with me.
Untuk mengaktifkan terjemahan bahasa Indonesia, silakan klik caption di panel laptop atau handphone Anda semua.
Para poder obtener la traducción en español, es necesario hacer clic en el menú de Zoom y elegir la opción Subtítulos en español.
大家好，如果你想看字幕，请按屏幕底下的 CC 按钮，选择中文。此功能仅适用于直播。
Bonjour, bienvenue à cet événement Newme. Vous pouvez activer les sous-titres dans votre langue en cliquant sur Sous-titres au bas de l'écran. Veuillez noter que cette option fonctionne uniquement dans la salle Zoom en direct. Merci et bonne écoute.
大家好，如果你想看字幕，請按屏幕底下嘅 CC 按鈕選擇中文。呢個功能淨係適用於直播。
Welcome online, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me in welcoming our MC for today. I'll just get you on mute, Sergio. And that is Sergio Della Mora, our Head of Sales Internationally.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. It's a pleasure to greet you from Utah's evening. I'm very excited to have this opportunity to welcome someone very special to all of us at Newme. Many of you may not know me yet. I'm fairly new to the team. I've been here. This is my third week. However, I'm very excited to be here and be a part of something great. Starting off with the introduction I will do tonight for our founder, Steve. Scott, I'm just very happy to get to know him. And in fact, I was thinking today, sometimes, you wonder why I wish I would have met this person years ago, but then I got thinking for a minute and I said, you know what? The time was now, because I'm also grateful for the experiences I've had that led up to this point. And I believe that the right time for me at this time is to be here with all of you at Newme and to serve alongside this great man and the other executives at his company. So Steve is really a genuine person. I've had the opportunity to work with many good founders like him, but from the first day I met him, I was really grateful that he took the time to spend some time with me, to talk to him about our products, to share some experiences that he's had in his professional career, and even talk a little bit about his hobbies, and we share a lot in common. So I'm really, really grateful to be here. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce Steve Scott, who is the founder of Newme, who has had a long time career in marketing and infomercials and has just been a very successful man, just about to retire, but then came across something great, which is what we have in our main product line at Newme today. And I want to highlight that he is a very dedicated, loving man, because today is actually his wife Shannon's birthday. And he is here with us this evening. We want to wish Shannon a happy birthday on behalf of all of us, Steve, but we're grateful that you're here with us. And please also thank her on our behalf for allowing you to participate this evening. Best wishes and welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. And Serge is amazing. He's 3 weeks with us, but he's many years. I think, what is it, Serge? 19? How many years have you been in networking?
20 now, Steve.
20 years. And
yeah, 20 years.
Like our other veterans, Aaron and Chris, he's right there with them in terms of experience. He came through Chris. Thankfully, Chris had said before we ever met him that he was amazing, and we're finding out just how amazing he is. So we're glad to have him. And he's not sales for just one continent or one country. He's global sales. So he is available to help everybody on this call and beyond this call in their markets. Michael, somebody's admitting these people as they come there. Okay, I just want to make sure.
All good, all good.
Okay, good. So I won't let it distract me too much. First of all, it's exciting to see Michael back in Australia and Greg and Prue back in New Zealand. I can't believe how many people came from so far away, and it was just an honor to be here with everybody. It was a great event. We did our little pre-launch of our brain product, Neuro, and people that came had the opportunity to buy it and take it home with them. Our goal is to get this into every country as fast as we can, and it has to roll according to regulations. In other words, those countries where we're allowed to sell it as is, we will be on sale. We do an actual launch around the first week of August. And then as we get approvals and label modifications for different countries, then we bring it into those countries as well. We'll ultimately be all over the world. There's nothing in our product, in this particular product, that gives anyone pause. So it's very exciting to see that. We're already getting tremendous testimonies. I use it. I don't use it every day yet because there's been a scarce supply and I don't want to run out. But I do use it. Like today, I was starting to really, after lunch, I normally eat now a very healthy small lunch, but today was, each month we celebrate the birthdays of that month at our staff, and they don't always do food that is healthy. And so I had some unhealthy food, and consequently, I was getting a little bit tired. When I get tired, man, I nod off. So I quickly got up, swished some brain, and I mean, within 3 or 4 minutes, I was 100%. It is amazing. And of course, it does have glutathione, it does have cysteine, but it works hand in hand with Swish. It is not a whole body, whole system product. It is for mental focus, sharpness, recall, alertness, all of those things. And so we would highly recommend you take it in addition to swishing. I would never go without Swish, and I would never recommend. A lot of exciting things happening. I'm talking to some people that were used to be in the National Football League. In fact, one's coming to visit us who was there for 14 seasons, which is a long career in the NFL. And his goal is to get it to every NFL player, retired player today, because he's seeing what it's doing for him and one of his friends. And he says, we all need this. This is so critical. And he hasn't even tried the brain yet. He's just tried the, here, I got to get that down so we're not interrupting. I'm recording a national convention tonight because we are going to go celebrate Shannon's birthday. And I want to be able to come back and listen to all the talks that people give. Another thing that was exciting, it was really exciting. At the beginning of I invited somebody up who just made diamond. Now, usually people make diamond by bringing in other people that are good at networking, or by bringing customers in She's the first that made diamond because she brought horses in. She has horses and horses owner. There is a equestrian competition in Canada, over 20,000 competitors, and she won her latest event, which was, it's where you jump over those real high bars, not the little wimpy ones, but the really high ones. And she actually won. And her horse performed so well, and she performed so well. She's on NutraSwish, her horse is on NutraSwish. And before you know it, when I talked to her a few weeks ago, there were 266 horses and their owners on NutraSwish that are equestrian competitors in this Calgary, in this Canadian event. And so she comes and I introduce her as a new diamond, and I say, because she corrected me when I first mentioned how many horses. So I did the corrected number, which as of Friday of the event was 301. Then when I introduced her on Saturday, I said she's got 301 horses on this event, and she quickly corrected me. She said, no, now we're at 326. They're adding that quickly. Why do you think it's spreading like wildfire at this Calgary event? Because people are seeing a difference in the way the horses perform, and they're seeing a difference in the way they perform. You know, a horse and a rider have to act in concert. They have to act as one, not as two. They both have to be totally focused. They both have to be very physical in their event. And so that was just exciting to me. You know, we always talk about people and changing lives, which we will always be our forefront. But isn't it neat to know we can help people, any mammal perform better, it seems. And I know a lot of you have told me your different pet stories, which are just as amazing. And so I will be going up to Calgary, Canada in the next few weeks, just to spend 2 or 3 days up there interviewing the horse owners, getting to meet the vets that have seen amazing things happen. Not that I can broadcast any of that, but I can start to collect data, hard data. You know what I love about animals? There's no placebo effect. You know, now it is kind of hard to teach them how to swish, but evidently they have a great routine for that. They just, they take a syringe, they put in 10 cc's, which is about 2/3 of an ounce, and they slowly squeeze that onto the tongue of the horse. And they take 30 seconds to put that on, and the horse starts lapping it all around their cheeks and under their tongue. And sure enough, the absorption takes place because it's shown in the evidence, and the evidence is amazing. I'm going to find out what vets use, because vets are now using the product in other ways that are very amazing. And so we got those stories. So there's always going to be new stories at NUMMI. There's always going to be new products. This neural product got the endorsement of the American Brain Council, which endorses very few products. And in fact, NutraSwish was the very first product that the American Brain Council ever endorsed. And why is that important? Well, you can put 2 and 2 together and get 4. I won't get into it. But welcome to this call. I see we have a pretty good number on, which means new people. So I'll be going through a few things. I'm going to tell you about our product. I'm going to tell you why it's a breakthrough. It's the biggest breakthrough I've ever seen in my life. Now, my background was finding breakthroughs. I started a little company with a partner and $5,000 in 1976. We found a breakthrough product. It came to me through a celebrity who at the time was a very big celebrity. Pat Boone brought it to me. He was a singer right alongside Elvis Presley back in the 50s. But Pat did the commercial along with his daughter, and it was a breakthrough facial product. And it became the number one brand in America, even though it wasn't sold in a store, even though it was priced 4 to 5 times higher than the other brands. But it was a breakthrough. And when you want relief on your face. It was an acne product. People really, price isn't the most important thing. Effectiveness is the most important thing. And the reorder rate was amazing. Before we knew it, we were doing $1 million a week in sales. And that worked so well, I then started looking for other breakthrough products. What's a breakthrough? A breakthrough is a product that can do something that nothing else in the world can do as effectively or efficiently. One product I found, and I was really skeptical. One of my dear friends from college called me and told me about this professor that lived down the street from her. And he had this video, or it wasn't video at the time, it was just an audio seminar, 3.5-hour seminar that was taking failing students and D students and turning them into A and B students literally overnight. And it sounded too good to be true, but I went, met with him. I saw the results. They were amazing. I took it home and made my daughter, who had just been kicked off the cheerleading team because her grades had gone down to 1.9, her grade point average, which is barely passing. And when I saw Carol, she's 52 now. This is my oldest daughter. I said, here, I want you to take this up to your room and listen to it. She said, why? I said, it's going to help you become a better student, get better grades. She said, Dad, when are you going to learn that I am an athlete and a musician? I'm not a student. And I said, when are you going to learn that I'm the parent and I control just about everything in this house, including when you're going to get your driver's license? So take it now or lose your opportunity. So she went up to her room. She came down 3.5 hours later and she said, Dad, I'll never get another B on a term paper. I'm going to get straight A's. And I said, how do you know? She said, because now I know what they want and I know how to give the teachers what they want in an essay. Do you know she turned out to be a good student after she graduated? She went to a great university, Villanova University, as an English major and an education major. And then she went and got her master's degree from one of the hardest seminaries in the United States, where she had to learn Greek and Hebrew. And her degree was in counseling. And so I guess she was a student. She just hadn't had the tool to prove it to herself. And once she had that tool, everything changed. In fact, one of the college students that listened to it, and only we turned it into a video series, and then it was bought by a particular football coach to show his football players, because he had 34 players that were going to go on the ineligibility list because of bad grades. So he made the whole team watch it, and they broke it up into 20-minute segments. And one of those segments, the professor said, if you want to become an entrepreneur, now this applies to everybody on this call, if you want to become an entrepreneur, don't wait till you graduate from college. In your case, don't wait till tomorrow on your Numi business, but become an entrepreneur while you're in college. So what I'm going to do, this is what the coach said, you can break up into groups, you can do it sole proprietorship, but each one of you is going to report in 3 weeks on an idea that you have to start your own business while you're still here at the University of Maryland. And you're going to tell everybody what your idea is. So the day before they were supposed to give their report, Kevin Plank came up to him, who was the captain of the special teams. And it was Coach John Baxter, who I've since come to know and really appreciate and admire. And he said, Coach, what I've got and what I'm going to do, I'm not going to show tomorrow at the reports. And John said, why? He said, because the team is my market. You see, I make all my undershirts out of my sister's slips, and they keep me cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. They're great to play on. In fact, once anybody plays in one, they're going to want those shirts instead of cotton T-shirts. And John said, well, he said, so what this guy said, Kevin said, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the sizes from the equipment room. I'll make 3 shirts for each team member. So that's 180 shirts. And then I'll give them one that they can play in. And then after they practice one time in it, they're going to want to never run out. So I will sell them each the additional 2. And then if that works, this fall when I graduate, or not fall, in the spring when I graduate, I'll go to other colleges and do the same thing. And John Baxter said, hey, Kevin, that's a great idea, but you can't call your company My Sister Slips. And he said, no, coach, I've picked out a name that I really like. He said, what's your name? I'm going to call it Under Armour. So anytime you see anybody in any Under Armour apparel, you will know that it came to the world because of a learning seminar called Where There's a Will, There's an A. And that was ours. We sold millions and millions of copies. It became the study skills programs for some of the best universities in America because they said it was, I interviewed them for one of our shows, and they said it was because it was better than what they had been teaching kids. And my spokespersons on that were a wonderful actor named John Ritter, and of course, Michael Landon, who was one of my dear friends in Hollywood. Mike did a number of projects for me, but that was the one he did. And at the end, it was the last project of his life. We didn't know he was going to get sick. We filmed it in February, and in March, he came down with pancreatic cancer. And But my life was spent for the next 35 years looking for breakthroughs. We ended up coming up with a lot of breakthroughs. We had Academy Award winning stars under contract like Charlton Heston, Cher, Jane Fonda, Holly Hunter. We had Emmy Award winning, like just TV stars out the kazoo that were really major stars. And then we even had a couple Grammy winners like Sharon, like Kenny Rogers. So we did very well. We sold billions of dollars in products before I retired. The one we're best known for is the Total Gym with Chuck Norris and Christy Brinkley. That's still on the air. It's been on the air every week in every market in the United States for 28 years. And it's also now in rehab facilities. Over 35 million people a year in the United States are rehabbed on Total Gyms. It's in every training room of every professional sports team. See, that's the power of a breakthrough. A breakthrough product creates a legacy. It not only serves a need that somebody has, that a consumer has, better than anything else on the market, but it has the potential to create a legacy that goes on for generations. You know, we saw a lot of kids get into college that without this program, they would have never gotten into college. We saw kids get into graduate school that would have never even graduated from college without that. That's a breakthrough. We had a weight loss program. In fact, my former friend, Richard Simmons, just died this last Saturday, but it was called Deal-A-Meal with Richard Simmons. It was a way to lose weight without counting calories. And when he showed me that product, that you don't have to count calories, you don't have to count carbs, any of that, he made it so simple. And millions of people lost weight on it. In fact, one guy named Michael something from Brooklyn, New York, set the Guinness Book of Records. He lost 715 pounds, and his wife lost 350 pounds without ever going on a diet. That is a breakthrough. Well, what we're about to talk about is the biggest breakthrough I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's so big, I walked away from American telecast. I retired. I walked away from millions of dollars a year in personal income. I walked away from my best friends who were all my partners. I walked away from the most fun job in the world. Can you imagine showing up many times each year to a stage or a location, and there comes major celebrities? You've written the scripts, you get to direct them and in their rendition of your scripts. That was thrilling. It was exciting. It was adrenaline better than I had flown a jet fighter my freshman year of college when the Air Force offered me a scholarship, and they gave me an hour and a half in a jet fighter. Well, I'll tell you what, as exciting as that was, the adrenaline rush of my job was even better. I loved it. But I walked away from it when I met a man named Dr. Robert Keller. He was a brilliant doctor, medical researcher. He had taught at the Mayo Graduate School of Medicine. Just a brilliant guy. And he introduced me to a word that he said was going to change my life. And that word was glutathione. And it turns out glutathione is the most important molecule in life. Without it, there's no animal life, no human life, no plant life. Everything needs oxygen and everything needs glutathione. It's that critical. It's the most studied molecule in all of medicinal science. Over 184,000 published studies in PubMed, the U.S. Government Library of Medical Science, and it performs over 400 functions in your body. And it performs them at the most important area, and that's at a cellular level. So everything you experience in life is built on the performance, either good or bad, of the cells that make up the tissues, that make up the organs, the muscles, the bone structure, the cardiovascular system. All of that is driven from within cells, and glutathione is critical to cellular health and cellular longevity, cellular performance. Now, I'm going to show you a picture real quick before we go to the slides. I'm going to show you, this one came to us and I really like it. Let's see, there it is. And what that is a cross-section of a human cell. Now, look at all the integral parts in that cell, and that's not showing you the DNA. It's not showing you them at a molecular level. It's not showing you, oh, there, good, he's got it. It's more complex than any machine ever built by mankind. More communication, more synchronicity, where things act in sync, are synchronized. There's nothing like it. And you have 50 trillion of them. Now, every cell in your body is attacked 10 to 20,000 times a day by free radicals. Michael, if you have the picture of the Chicago Bull Arena, let's show them what 20,000 looks like. I like pictures more than I like numbers. So that's 20,000 people. Now, pretend all of those are free radicals that attack each cell of your body. And we'll say you're one of those cells. You're on the basketball floor and somebody says, okay, $1 million to any one of you that can punch the guy center stage. Well, the stands would empty. Everybody would try to get their $1 million. You'd be attacked by 20,000 people. Now, in 5 days, you'd be attacked by 100,000 people if you added it all up. Let's show them, Michael, if you have the next one. This is what 100,000 people look like. So picture you're right on the center of that M in the middle of the foot field, and the announcer makes the same announcement. Each of you that ends up landing a blow, you get $1 million for doing your job, because we want to eliminate this guy. There's no way you get out of that. Well, that's what your cells are confronted by every single day of their life. And it starts at birth. It's from the beginning of birth all the way to the end of your life. Your cells are constantly attacked by free radicals. Now, what's a free radical? A free radical is a scavenger. It wants to steal an electron from the cell. And when it does that, has two terrible consequences. Actually, it has many, but the two worst. Number one, it accelerates the aging of the cell. The cell gets older faster. So do you want your cells and tissues and organs, your heart, your brain, your lungs, your kidneys, to get older faster or stay younger longer? It's all a function of oxidative stress. That's what's caused. When the electron is stolen, it creates oxidative stress, and the oxidative stress creates accelerated aging and inflammation. So remember that picture of the cell. Now imagine dropping a plop of mud in that obstructs the activity and the communication and the processes that are all take place in that cell. That's what inflammation does. Inflammation is our mortal enemy. Inflammation is provides the foundation upon which every disease we know about is founded. It's all inflammation related. Now, what you're going to hear about today, our product isn't anti-inflammatory. It's anti-oxidative stress. It mitigates the oxidative stress, and it's oxidative stress that creates the inflammation and the accelerated aging. So we have a product that truly is anti-aging. A lot of people claim it, but we've got it. And you're going to see that in a few minutes. So number one purpose of glutathione, the molecule I was introduced to, is it is your body's master antioxidant. Now, there is a whole spectrum of free radicals. They have different sources, different chemical compositions, different structures, and all antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin E, CoQ10, superoxide dismutase, catalase, vitamin A, vitamin D, they can all mitigate, neutralize, sequester and neutralize, because that's how they work. They donate an electron to the free radical, and when that donation takes place, it captures the free radical and sequesters it, and so it's no longer a danger. Now, like I said, we have a spectrum. So vitamin C, a great antioxidant, can take out this type, but it leaves all of these bad guys. Vitamin E can take out that one, but it leaves all of those. CoQ10, superoxide dismutase, catalase. And there's whole companies built on superoxide dismutase and catalase. Well, that deals with two of the antioxidants, but look at our free radicals. Look at all these other guys that still continue. Glutathione is called the master antioxidant because unlike all others, it is not monofocused. All other antioxidants are monofocused, like a hotel key that can open one door but can't open any others. Glutathione is called the master antioxidant because it can sequester and neutralize all free radicals, regardless of their source, their structure, or their chemical composition. Now, one of the most vile and violent and aggressive free radicals is new to you and me. Our parents didn't have to face it. And it is caused when the microwaves from 5G antenna on those nice towers that are all over the earth, those microwaves come into your body, and when they react with the nitrogen in your body, they create this terrible free radical called peroxynitrite. Not nitrate, peroxynitrite. Peroxynitrite lives 1 billion times longer than any other free radical or any oxygen-based free radicals. And it is very aggressive. It attacks our DNA. There's a reason I'll tell you about that in a second. And it lives so long, it can actually transfer from one cell to the other cell. So it's a real bad guy. The only antioxidant that can sequester and neutralize peroxynitrite is glutathione. Now, vitamin C and vitamin E are great antioxidants. You know why? They can be recycled 3 to 5 times. So they donate an electron, and then they no longer have an electron, so now they're useless until they're recycled. Now they've got another one, and then another one, 3 to 5 times. The recycling agent for vitamin E and vitamin C is glutathione. But if your glutathione levels are too low, they won't recycle vitamin C and vitamin E. In fact, if you've got real low glutathione, guess what happens? The cell slams its door and does not let vitamin C or vitamin E in the cell. Not good. So glutathione is your body's master antioxidant. What else does it do? It is the sole protector of your mitochondrial DNA. Why is that important? As long as the mitochondrial DNA maintains its integrity and is not broken, the cell can't mutate and multiply. But when the mitochondrial DNA is broken, now the cell is at risk for mutating and multiplying, and of course that's cancer. We are not a cure for cancer. We don't We're not even a medicine. We are a supplement. Our sole target is to get more glutathione into the cells and utilized by the cells. Glutathione's the miracle molecule, not our product. We're the best delivery system for glutathione. You know, if I had a bag of diamonds, and it was $50 million worth of diamonds, and I tell you, hey, I'm going to bring those diamonds to you. And so for some of you, it means I got to fly across the ocean, but don't worry, I'm going to bring it to you. I'm bringing an armed guard, and so you're going to soon be very, very wealthy. You know, you get all excited. Woohoo, the diamonds are coming. Only to find out that the diamonds aren't coming because the plane crashes, or there's an airline strike, or there's a terrible thing and all the planes get grounded. We've seen that quite a few times. So you don't get it doesn't matter that I've given them to you, that I've said I'm giving them to you, that you now are the heir of all these diamonds. None of that matters because I didn't deliver it. That's the problem with glutathione, is delivery. You see, your cells are so tiny. One strand of hair is 80,000 nanometers thick. One strand. A piece of typing paper is, and I don't have typing paper here, but a piece of typing paper is 100,000 nanometers thick. Well, your cells are only 10 nanometers in diameter. I'm sorry, they're 100 nanometers. I just lied to you. Your cells are 100 nanometers in diameter, but the pore in the cell is only 10 nanometers. So if you've got something that is 50 nanometers and the pore size is only 10, no matter what you do, you're not going to get it inside that pore. So what do? You sit on top of the cell until the body somehow gets rid of it. That is the problem of delivery. Now, glutathione has several problems when it comes to delivery. Number one, the molecule is so fragile, it can't make it through the stomach. You can buy glutathione capsules anywhere, but the moment the glutathione gets into your gut, it's destroyed, broken. It has a sulfhydryl molecule that gets broken right away. Well, we started to talk about how we protect the mitochondrial DNA. We protect the mitochondrial DNA because the glutathione molecule has a sulfur molecule attached that is like sticky, like flypaper, and it sticks to the chemicals. You see, everybody on this call has at least 200 industrial chemicals in your body right now, and they're not meant to be there. The only thing that's going to take them out, the only thing that detoxifies, is glutathione. Glutathione is the detoxifier of your cells. Every liver cell has 1,000 times more glutathione than any other cells in the body because the liver uses glutathione to detoxify itself. So what happens is if you have high levels of glutathione, guess what? It sticks to the chemical, gets it out of the cell, and you maintain the integrity of that mitochondrial DNA. But if you don't have enough glutathione, the chemical load in the cell can break the mitochondrial DNA, and now the cell's vulnerable, at risk for mutation and multiplication. So all that's fact. All of this is in the scientific literature. If you were to read the 184,000 studies, you'd find a bunch of studies on glutathione and detoxification. So it's critical for that, critical for the mitochondrial DNA. The other thing that it does, one thing, this is pretty major, when hemoglobin is manufactured in your body, that red blood cell, the purpose is to bind to oxygen molecules and deliver those oxygen molecules throughout the body to every cell, 50 trillion cells. Problem is, they have the wrong, hemoglobin has the wrong electromagnetic charge. So it can't bind to oxygen. It's just like bringing north poles of magnets together. It doesn't happen. It has to be reduced to a +2. When that reduction takes place, it does bind to the oxygen. It delivers oxygen to every cell in the body. Glutathione is the one and only reduction agent for hemoglobin. So right there, everything that uses blood to live is dead because the blood won't deliver oxygen. We got to have oxygen. Without glutathione, you're a goner. So that's another thing glutathione does. And so delivery is the problem. You can't get it through the stomach. You can buy glutathione capsules anywhere, but they won't get. Now, some people wrap glutathione molecules with fat, a layer of fat, making it too big to get into those tiny pores. So once again, that's useless. And there's other problems. They call them liposomal delivery, liposomes, which is just a fancy name, as my son would say, for fat, are lipids. So that's the other alternative. Another alternative is IVs. I talked to a doctor just yesterday, and he says, I use glutathione IVs. I said, that's good. For $200 to $300, you're giving your patients a 6-hour bang for the buck, because the half-life of glutathione, any glutathione, once it gets in the cell, is only 90 minutes. So you get about a 6-hour longevity. You get 90 minutes at pretty close to full strength. After 90 minutes, you're half strength. And then for the next 24 to 32 hours, the strength is going way down for $200 to $300, plus the discomfort of having something put into your vessels for about an hour. It's not that comfortable. And that's IV. But the good thing about ours, it has the same half-life of any other glutathione. 90 minutes is the average. But here's the good news. Anytime you start to wear down physically or mentally, you can do what our friends in the Air Force did that we tested. They just swished another serving, because you swish it like a mouthwash, and the particle size is so small it goes right into your bloodstream as you're swishing. And so they would do that because they had 12-hour duty calls. It was a security team of an F-35 base. When they would swish, they'd come right back to life, and it wouldn't keep them awake at night because there's no stimulant. So they could swish in the last hour of their duty call and be asleep an hour and 10 minutes later. And they loved it. It was a 4-month test, and we did it with a security team. And in the first 4 days, with no prompting, they all jettisoned their energy products that are high caffeinated, cause the heart, cause the spike and crash and all that. They got rid of them. They didn't need them anymore. We had a doctor, a surgeon in Miami, Florida. He performs plastic surgery 14 hours a day, 5 days a week. And he was on 3 glutathione IVs a week, $900 a week. Somebody talked him into trying ours. He went off the IV for a day, and then he tried ours, thinking he was going to see a big drop in mental focus, a big drop in mental stamina, a big drop in physical stamina. And instead of seeing a drop, it went up. Amazing. He never went back to the IV. In fact, 6 weeks later, he invited me to come speak to 42 surgeons that he had invited to his office. They're not in his practice. They were just friends. They all came. They heard about this amazing product, breakthrough product. And guess what? They all took it. Not because of my little educational piece, but because between you and me, his testimony and the testimony of his head nurse and the testimony of his wife knocked it out of the park. It was, all 3 were unbelievable, but they wanted to know how it worked. So I told them how it worked. Well, you know, we saw a huge change in athletic performance. We delay the onset and progression of lactic acidosis by almost 17%, which is a huge game changer for any runner, any cyclist, any swimmer. And now we're going to see it's a game changer for horses. I can't wait to meet with these people, because horses go into lactic acidosis just like humans do anytime they're in a race. A thoroughbred will. Well, we think we're going to help them out just like we help human athletes. And but one of our athletes was in an accident, and she was hospitalized for 3 days. three and a half days. And when she got home, she thought, hey, this stuff is tiny particles. Maybe it'll help my face to look better, because she had scabs and all sorts of road rash and everything all over her face. Well, poured some on a cotton ball, did it on Monday night. The plastic surgeon said it would take 5 weeks to clear. She did it Monday night, then she did Tuesday night, then 3 times on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. By Sunday, her face was completely clear, not a mark, not a scar. Now, when I saw that, I thought, oh my goodness, we have the world's best skincare product. I've owned 5 cosmetic companies with my partners, and skincare is always the hardest to get the best breakthrough. My former formulator became the head formulator for the company that created Botox. And when he saw our before and after pictures, oh my goodness, you won't believe what he said. But Michael, let's bring the first one up, if you would. So I sent bottles out, spray bottles, and said, spray your face 5 times a day. There you go. 5 times a day for 7 weeks. And then, or for 8 weeks, then send me the pictures. Well, this lady, 59, Sherry Warner at the time, now she's 64. She sent me this picture. She said, I couldn't wait 8 weeks. I had to show you 7 weeks. Well, I showed that to my former formulator, who became the head formulator for the company that created Botox. And when he saw it, he said, Steve, I hate to tell you, she's had a facelift. There's no topical product in the world that can do that, not even Botox. I said, John, she works on a farm, lives on a farm. No scalpel has ever touched this lady's face. She's a dear friend of mine for the last 15 years, and that is our product. He said, oh my gosh, well, you've got something nobody else does. Yes, we do. Let's go ahead and go through a few of these, and then we'll call it a night. Those were my hands. I sprayed. My son wanted me to spray half a face, and I said, no, I'll look goofy. So instead, I sprayed my right hand for 12 weeks, didn't spray my left hand. Look at the difference. I mean, if you can't see that, please see your optometrist immediately. Next. Okay, this lady's 84 when the picture's taken. She's 85 now. She got that result in 4 weeks of swishing and spraying. And when we asked her, how often did you look at her neck, look at her chin and her mouth. We said, how often did you spray? And she said, well, I had a strategy. I had bottles all over the house, and anytime I passed one, I would spritz my face. And it's just like a moisture, or what do you call it? A mist. She would do the mist on her face, and that's what happened. Unbelievable. Next. There's another 80-plus-year-old, and she did her legs for 10 weeks, went from the legs of an old lady, as she put it, these are her words, I went from the legs of an old lady to the legs of a young lady. And it took 10 weeks. This lady only had to wait 8 days. She sent us the pictures after 8 days. She's an esthetician in Miami, Florida. And when she sent that, she said, look at my face. Where did my pores go? Look how much brighter. Look how it opened up my eyes. Look at smoother. And so those are kind of our key words. You might want to write them down. Smoother, tighter, brighter, younger looking. That's what we see. Next. This lady is 60 years old. We met her last year. That was after 1 month. Looks like she had a facelift, but she didn't. But look at that. That's after 6 months. And now let's look at the side-by-side. So, I mean, need we say more? And we have a lot more, but I'm going to stop right here because you've seen enough. The fact is our product is the breakthrough we say it is, and it's a legacy product. Why? Because when you perform better, everybody on this call has to perform. You have to get out of bed every day. There's things you have to do. Some you enjoy, some you don't enjoy. If you have low energy, everything seems overwhelming. If you have natural high energy. Now, this doesn't spike you like a stimulant. We call it stealth energy. It's energy you don't even see or notice. You just don't run down. So I swish every morning, and then one of my doctors that's on our medical board, a world-renowned cardiologist, she showed me something, and I said, how often did you have that person swish? And she said, every morning and every night. I said, why night? She says, because then the demand for the glutathione is lower, so the vital organs like your brain and heart get more of the glutathione from your swishing. And I said, well, I'll try it if it doesn't keep me awake. Well, some people it might keep awake. You never know till you try. It makes me sleep rock hard when I go to sleep. And remember, there's no stimulant, there's no caffeine or anything else in this product. So anyway, that's what we have. We're changing lives now in 72 countries. We announced at our birthday party that in October, we right now are scheduled to open Japan and Thailand. So if any of you have any friends over there, start getting them warmed up, show them some before and afters, and Mike will tell you how he can tell you how to get on to Numi New You and Numi members only. So Michael, I'll pass it to you, and I'm going to say goodnight. It's my wife's birthday, so I'm going to jump off this call before anybody else so we can go have dinner somewhere. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week. Every week we do this same thing. So
beautiful, Steve, and happy birthday to Shannon. So, ladies and gentlemen, this session has now been live streamed on YouTube. You can play back right now. For those who have the brand new Command Center app, you can click the YouTube button, go straight to live videos, and you've got it in the palm of your hand. You can suggest all of your members download the app and do the same. And of course, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday every single week with different events. So stay tuned to the alerts as we get the brand new app up and running. The alerts will be turned on. We were just playing around with them yesterday, and they'll be more consistent coming from